Just okay. I was going to call
Okay.
for you to ask for the recording to be started. Then
All right. The recording now is on play.
please call for the recording, which has started. Then you can reintroduce. Yes. All right, you can go on. You can go for it.
Okay. I am deeply afraid to introduce Griselda, our spook master of the day. She's an author, actor, singer, songwriter, and creativity coach. She's tuning in from her bathtub in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. As a speaker and leader, Griselda rises up to emote from the dark side of the podium. Please join me in welcoming our spectacular chair for today's meeting, the bone-chilling Griselda. Over to you.
Good day, fellow Halloweenies. Welcome one and all, spooky Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and of course, all ghouls, ghosts, and goblins to our dungeon. I am Griselda, your spook master of the day, or your creature of the night, for today's freak show, celebrating the wicked spirit of Halloween. Have you ever felt like an imposter, my lovelies? Like you are just playing dress up as a leader instead of truly embodying it? Leadership can feel like trying on different Halloween costumes. Some fit like a glove, while others feel a bit too tight, making us itch to tear them off. Oh, yes, my familiars, I have been there, great at projecting confidence. But the moment we try to cling to a comfortable costume for too long, like a bat clinging to the ceiling of a cavern, we stop growing. Can you feel it? And we know what happens to Halloween pumpkins that don't grow, don't we? They get carved up, sliced and diced for some ghoul's despicable feast. The toughest parts of leadership are often the ones that make us feel like we are just posing, not quite filling the spooky, spiky boots we're wearing. When it's doubtful that our experience will be accepted as credible, or fearing someone will see the freak behind the mask. Leadership can feel like trick or treating for credibility. But real leadership, my fellow strange ones, is all about embracing the uncomfortable moments of inquietude, the itchy costumes, if you will, because that's where the magic happens. So how do we avoid feeling like posers? Simple. We need to focus on 3 bewitching elements: integrity, intention, and inspiration. Let's first begin with intention. Know your goals, and most importantly, why you are chasing them. A leader with a clear intention is like the headless horseman, riding fearlessly forward, even without all of the answers. Second, integrity. This is the glue that keeps your costume from malfunctioning. Words and actions must match. Leaders with integrity are reliable, like Count Dracula's cape. It never slips, even when he's feeding. And finally, inspiration. Real leaders inspire their teams to be more than a herd of zombies just going through the motions. They bring passion, and passion, my friends, is contagious, the best kind of contagion. So today, my fellow Spookmasters, whether you are wearing a witch's hat or Frankenstein's bolts, remember, stepping out of your comfort zone is where true leadership begins. So rip off that mask and embrace those challenging roles and lead with intention, integrity, and inspiration. No tricks, just treats. And a warm welcome to our ghostly guests. We are thrilled to have you here, adding more sparkle than a witch's eye at midnight to our meeting. Please sign the guest book posted in the chat, because you don't want to vanish like a phantom, poof, without a trace. And check the agenda in the chat. It is your map for today's macabre meeting. By joining us at this premier club for self-directed leaders, you've embraced the opportunity to grow and reach your potential. Keep a wary eye on our role players. They are the stars of our pumpkin patch of excellence. At Leadership Speak, we believe in preparing for excellence to always deliver it. And stay with us to the sinister end. Our president, the vampire lord of darkness, Count Dracula, will have final words that will surely leave you spellbound. And now, it makes me delightfully fearful to invite our toast speaker, Jyothi Thomas, to deliver the toast to the theme and share a glass of blood or whatever beverage we need to quench our perpetual thirst. Jyothi, the scene is yours.
A spectacular event. Many hats. It's a thrill and a kill where goblins, prince, and vampires unite. Let's not forget the angels and the fairies. Whether you're in costume or just you, every one of us embody leadership role, bringing its own unique flair. Sometimes it's just invisible hat. How do you feel? Like a magician, conjuring solutions out of thin air. That's the spirit. It might not be in a glass, it's still there. The first tip of my hat goes to the vampire, cloak of influence. Just like Dracula Count, leaders know how to draw others into their charm, to inspire to rise from the box and reach up for the stars. The power of influence, the hat of influence, wearing cape or just our everyday smile. Griselda, the Spookmaster, hat of innovation, the witchy leader, brewing up creativity, ideas that are challenging and turning into exciting opportunities, like the bubbling magic that keeps our project fresh and captivating. For those not in costumes, you can still cast a spell of innovation every day. Your ideas are just, can I get a cheer for the creativity that keeps us spellbound? How can I forget the spooky Paranjit cap of humor? A leader's hat that knows laughter. Ho, ho, ho. He is dressed up and a jester who's simply smiling from the sidelines. As we prepare for the chills, the thrills, and the surprises, remember the cloak of influence, the hat of innovation, the cap of humor keeps our strength and our bonds together. We embrace the adventure around us. Now, may I ask all of you to raise your glasses Hi. And unmute. And let's together say, lead with spirit.
Lead with
spirit.
spirit.
Lead with spirit.
Lead with spirits.
Lead with spirit.
While I drink your blood.
Over to the innovative hat, Spooky Griselda.
Thank you, madam. That was wonderful. And now the time has come. The keeper of the eternal time today is our queen of straight talk, Sandra Valks. Queen S, please describe the role of timer for this haunting event.
It is so wonderful to be here today. Letting you know that I will be following the times on the agenda. And at the beginning of the 5 to 7 or the 1 to 2, there will be a green, as you saw with the toast. And we shall move to the yellow. That's a warning. Oh, be on time or be wiped from the world. And when we get to the red, please cease and desist. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer. And now, our fierce grammarian is Phoebean Joseph. Phoebean, please introduce the word of the day and explain this heinous rule.
Fellow Toastmasters, as your gluish guests, welcome to this smoky story. As the grammarian, it is my haunting duty to pay close attention to all speakers. Listen carefully to their language uses as if I were lurking in the shadows. I will take note of any improper language that sends shivers down my spine, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts that may raise hair on the back of my neck. As the keeper of the word, it is my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. The word for today is inquietude, which means a state of restlessness or uneasiness. Toastmaster Hannah, if you are worried about what to wear for your Halloween costume, your inquietude will haunt you until you find that perfect outfit that will send shivers down the spines of all who sees you. When called upon, I will give my report. Thank you.
I thank thee, O fierce Phoebean. That was truly an inquietude. Dear fellow Toastmasters, I have a question for you. What do witches put on their bagels? Screen cheese! Now, my friends, it's time to invite our eerie educational speaker, Vinod Panicker, to center stage and to ask his evaluator, the charming Claudette Thomas, to share the speaker's project and purpose.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Vinod will be speaking from the Presentation Mastery Path. It's Level 5, Project 1. The purpose of this project is for Vinod to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Vinod also requested that I observe his Zoom presence, the landing of his stories, and the takeaway message. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, madam. And now it is my freakishly fantastic honor to welcome our educational speaker, Vinod Panicker. Vinod joined Toastmasters in 2015, and since then has been a past division director, part of the program Quality Directors team, and a TLI chair. Vinod is a table topics finalist and an evaluation contest district winner. He is the head of sales for a packaging company and lives in Dubai. Be vigilant, my lovelies, but don't panic. Vinod is safely sharing his wisdom from the club dungeon. However, with this presentation, he invites us to beware. Vinod Panicker, beware of the full moon. Beware of the full moon, Vinod Panicker.
Thank you, Spookmaster. I am here to tell a story. Long, long ago, there was a boy who heard there was a lot of treasure hidden in the forest near where he lived. One day, he decided that he will go to the forest and find that treasure. He ran to the forest, and after an hour, he lost his way. It was a full moon day that day, and wherever he looked, the forest was lit. The problem was, wherever he felt the way was, it ended up as a dead end. Or wherever he went, he came back again. Many times in life, we do the same thing. We choose a path, but we run in circles. The longer we go, the sooner we reach or the farther we reach to the same point. The boy was tired. He didn't know what to do. Then he stopped and thought, what should I do? He started asking some questions to himself. From where did I come? Where am I going? What was the purpose that I came in this forest? After having that self-inquiry and self-talk, he thought of climbing on a tree. He climbed the tree quickly and saw some light far away. He ran to that place. It was a village. It was a small hut where he had seen a lantern. When he went there, the people over there thought he was there to harm them. They took their weapons and said, "Who are you?" The boy said, "Sorry, I am here for help. I'm lost. Please help me." The villagers took that boy, fed him, he drank water, he ate food, he slept quietly that night. And he stayed there for 2 days. But after 2 days, he realized that there were a lot of kids in that village. None of them had any education. And in that village, many people who were getting around 40, 50 were dying because of many unknown disease. That boy decided that he will make sure when he goes to the town, he will take care of the boys in the village. After a few days, he goes back to the town. He gathers some people over there and says that let us pursue this goal of educating these kids in this village so that they can have a better future. And he helped those kids have a better future. Now, Spookmasters, all the leaders in this room who are waiting to drink the blood, let me share the intention of why I shared this story. You all are that boy in my story. And even I am the same boy. In our life, we all go in search of some treasure. And in our leadership journey, we may feel lost. And when you feel lost, that is the time that you need to ensure you are wearing the hat, the first hat of self-inquiry. All the leaders and the spook masters over here, the first hat that you need to wear in life is of self-inquiry. When I was 16 years old, I used to see, we had a big group of friends, and we used to sit on a pipe, a water pipe, and that was our hotspot. And every evening, we would sit there and had chit chat, gossip, and do a lot of things. And what I used to observe at that time was anyone who came down from the building and used to walk towards us, there usually would be three types of reaction. The first reaction, oh, great, this person is coming. Second, oh, crap, this person is coming. The third was people used to look at that person and say, okay, let him come. I always wanted to be the third person, the neutral. Because I never wanted my charm or any other quick jokes to make me famous. I always believed that it's your action that should speak. So wherever I go in this world, I make sure I go there, I easily fit in the group, and then start mingling. And whatever I want to do, I will show it with my actions. In leadership speak, what we do when a member joins, we take a test called standout. Or what do you do in level 2? Understanding your leadership style, understanding your communication style. Why do we have that project? We have that project so that you can do some self-inquiry and know more about yourself. So that is the first hat every leader needs to wear. Now, the second hat that everyone should wear according to me, I have a lot of hats, by the way, over here today, is the Energizer hat. The bunny, Energizer bunny, remember this? Why? Now, once I went to an office and it had a very big hoarding which said, everybody brings happiness to this room. Some when they come, some when they leave. What an attitude to have, right? Anybody who comes into my life is going to bring happiness. But why is this hat of Energizer important to a leader? Because I believe whenever you are having a conversation, only two things can happen. One, you are giving energy, or you are sucking the energy out from the person with whom you are having that conversation. Whom do you want to be? The person who gives energy, or the person who drains the energy from other person? I was listening to an interview of a very big multimillionaire in India. He was one of the first person who had created a hypermarket concept in India, even before all the very famous hypermarkets were known to people. And one journalist asked him, what is the reason for your success, or how do you manage so many people? He said, I don't know anything about business. All my team, they are MBAs, IITs from the top colleges in the world and in India. How can I be smart than them? I just make sure of one thing. And maybe that is the reason for my success. And he said that one thing is, no matter how somebody enters my room, I make sure when they leave, they smile. That is my only mantra in life. No matter how, if a customer is complaining, if an employee is complaining, when they come in, whatever state of mind they may be in, I make sure when they go out, they smile. What an amazing philosophy to have in life. Basically, energize people. How do you energize people in your life? What is it that you do? Now, one simple formula that I still remember, I think it was from one of the American businesswomen. She said that whenever you see someone, imagine they are wearing a necklace, not this skeleton one, but it's written MMFI. That is make me feel important. The next time when you are having a conversation with someone, how can you make them feel important? When you use that mindset, automatically the right words will come out from your mouth. So, my dear friends, the first hat was self-inquiry. The second hat was, I forgot. What was it, by the way? Can somebody put it in the chat? Or unmute yourself and please somebody just shout out.
Energizer. Make the energy.
Energizer.
Remember this, the bunny energizer.
The bunny.
Energize
Yeah.
bunny.
You will never forget
Energize
that.
bunny.
The third hat that a leader wears usually is of a guide, is of a mentor. Without mentors or people who can support you in life, at least I would have not reached where I am. I was once attending a leadership training class where the trainer asked us to do a simple exercise. You can do it on your own. Put it on your mobile, put it on your chat, whatever you want to do. He asked, write down the names of 3 people in your life who have influenced you the most. Write down names of 3 people in your life who have influenced you the most. And it should not be your parents. Anybody else than your father or mother. It can be your uncle, aunt, that's fine, but it cannot be your father or mother. It needs to be somebody else. For me, it was my coach and my teachers. And I will tell you why. One of my coach, I used to do boxing in my college days. And it was third year. The first year I had won a silver medal. The second year I was disqualified. The third year I wanted to win gold medal. And at any cost, I used to train 2 times a day. And it was at that time when my coach saw that hunger in me that I wanted to win gold at any cost. Now, my coach is a very well-reputed and known person in our town. He owns his own restaurant and bar and is a very busy person. So he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and sleeps around 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. And the only time he takes to rest is during the afternoon, 2 to 5 p.m. He told me, Vinod, would you like to practice 4 to 5 p.m. with me for the next 2 months? And I said, but that's the time you take rest. He said, it's fine. 2 months I will not take rest, but I need your commitment. And every day I used to train for the next 60 days with him. Even on the days where we didn't have training, I used to go and sit with him. Because of that training, I won gold that year. Who is that coach in your life? Who is that coach in your life who has helped you? Now, the second question that the trainer had asked us that day. The first question was, who are the 3 people in your life who have influenced you? The second question that he asked was, whose list would you be like to be? Whose list you would like to be? And that was a question that really shook me from inside. I would like to be on a list of my son, of my daughter, of my friends, of my Toastmaster community friends. I want to help. I want to do as much as possible. I'm asking you this question: whose list you would like to be? Now, let's go back to the forest. The boy went into the forest. He got lost. He paused and asked some questions. That was basically wearing the self-inquiry hat. Then he went and saw the light. He went there. He understood that these villagers need some help, right? When these people came to him, they thought he was an enemy. But then he was able to convince them and then made friends. So over there, the conversation changed and they became friends. Let's say he wore a hat of an energizer where he was able to fit into those people. He went to town and he brought these people or the students back again. That is where he acted as a mentor. He wanted to help these kids. Now, the fourth hat, and the most important hat I believe each and every spooky leader should wear over here, is the self-development hat. You see, the first hat was self-awareness. What will you do with the awareness when you don't take action on it? What will you do with the standout test if we are not implementing it? What will you do with all the emotional intelligence in the world if you don't apply it? So that was the time that I have understood in my life that the most important hat is regular self-development. And how I got into self-development is an amazing story. I failed in 12th grade. I will repeat, I failed in 12th grade. Now, any Asian parents over here will understand what it means. It actually means 100 kg of brick fell on your head to an Asian parent. Now, my daughter just got less marks in one subject and my wife was crying for 2 days. So imagine 25 years ago, what might have happened to my parents? So when I failed in 12th grade, my father didn't say anything. He didn't shout at me and he told my mother, no one will talk anything to Vinod. It is his life. Let him live as he wants. If he studies, it is good for him. If he doesn't study, that's also okay. I will take care of him. For the next 1 week, my father did not go to work. And that 1 week changed my life. I decided that I will never let this happen again. If he might have beaten me or abused me or whatever he might have done, then I might have not studied. But that silence, that it's okay, but he was not okay. It made me realize my responsibility. I studied hard. I passed 12th grade. I did my BSc, I did my MBA, and I did my second MBA right now. I will be graduating in November and I want to do PhD. That one failure in my life has led me to a never-ending journey of learning. That is when I realized that learning is a lifelong journey and you have to do it till you die. And the second most important lesson came on this day, 26th October, 16 years ago, I lost my father. I got a call on 25th October from my sister saying that dad is serious, you have to fly back to India. I went there, I could not talk to him because he was in ICU. And on 26th, we lost him. That incident shook me from inside. After a month, when I came back to Dubai, I had no motivation to go to work. The questions that I was asking in my head was, for whom should I go for work? What is the purpose of my life? Who is there to tell me that you are doing a great job? Or who is there to tell me if I fail, it's okay? When all these things were happening, one day from work, when I went home in the evening, I was just browsing through some channel. And that is when I came across a movie called Freedom Writers. It had just released that year in 2007. And I usually never watch a complete movie alone. But that movie drew me completely in. And I watched that in a single setting. The story is very simple. A young teacher goes to Los Angeles to a community school where more than 70% of the kids never pass out and do higher education. She just builds one habit in all the kids. Every day, write in your journal. And she gives them a journal. And this is a true story. And just by that one habit, the complete statistics changes of that college in a year. More and more students pass out, and it has become a culture in that particular college. I thought, why can't I try that? Like, I had heard many times about meditation, journaling, and many things. But when that incident happened, when I lost my father and this incident happened, it really went deep inside and I started writing. And it was only recently that I came across something called as morning pages. I had left in between journaling, but again, I started writing about it. So my friends, self-development is something which starts with self-inquiry. And then whenever you speak, make sure you are providing energy to the other person. Find a mentor, find a guide to reach wherever you want to be in life. And development is a lifelong journey. In this haunted village, what we call world, there will be a lot of turns. There will be a lot of full moons, which will change your behavior, which will push you somewhere you don't want to go. Pause. Use your hats. As a leader, when you need, put the hat of self-inquiry, put the hat of energizer, put the hat of your guide. And the most important, never stop learning. Back to you.
Thank you, Spookmaster Vinod, for a spectacular message. There are wonderful treasures to be found in the many hats of leadership indeed, and we work on them until we die. My lovelies, I have another question for you. Why are ghosts bad at telling lies? Because you can see right through them. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce Sabnam Saiyed and her evaluator, the bewitching Bindu Thankappan, onto the virtual stage. Bindu, please provide the project and purpose for your speaker.
Thank you. Hello, Spookmasters, witchy leaders, goblins, and my dear ghostly guests. My speaker, Sabnam Saiyed, is going to give a speech from Pathway Presentation Mastery, and the project is Effective Body Language. The purpose is for her to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how to use this nonverbal communication when delivering a speech. All the best, Sabnam. Over to TMOD.
Join me in welcoming Sabnam Saiyed, our meeting's first speaker. Sabnam holds a master's degree in economics and is skilled in neuro-linguistic programming. She is also an EI coach and practitioner, homemaker, and proud mother of 2 daughters. The superb Sabnam will be presenting a speech entitled Finally. Sabnam Saiyed, finally. Finally, Sabnam Saiyed.
To be or not to be, to do or not to do. Obviously, little tweaked, but by William Shakespeare. I think, he wrote these lines just for me. I think that most of us here have that one thing, one achievement that we are so proud of and often like to talk about it. For me, it is driving. No. Driving. Sorry, it's driving. See, driving doesn't necessarily mean driving only a car. It is driving a bicycle, a scooter, or finally a car. So driving happened to me in a phase, when this phenomena happened to me in a span of 25 years in 3 phases. Confused? Let me explain. It started when I was in grade 9. And it started with cycling. See, I grew up in Mumbai, the congested streets and the small lanes. You are not allowed to drive anything over there. So when I shifted to another city, I had to learn cycling to go to school. I practiced, and finally it was my time to ride on the main road. I was confident. So the first 5 minutes, nothing actually happened. But then, as soon as I entered a street, there came a donkey in the middle of the street. It was my first time on the main road, and a donkey was in the middle of the road. I could not break it. I shouted the donkey. I said him, move. And he did not listen. I don't know why. He did not understand what I was telling him. So the inevitable happened. I banged him. Everybody, let's take 2 seconds of silence. Observe 2 seconds of silence for the poor donkey. I hope he's able to walk today. It was not my mistake. I told him to move. But slowly and steadily, I became confident on the roads. Then came the era of 2-wheelers. Now, like every other parent, my parents did not buy a new scooter for me. They believe in recycling, and they took it very seriously. So I had to ride my 13-year elder cousin's sister's moped. It is called Luna. She had used it to the fullest, and then it was handed over to me. Now, just close your eyes, everybody, close your eyes, and imagine Mickey Mouse. Always there's one scene common in all Disney cartoons. The cartoon character is on a vehicle. He's running, somebody's chasing him. And then all of a sudden, the spare parts of the vehicle starts flying in the sky and it is totally dismantled. And after a couple of minutes, there is nothing below him and he falls down. Well, I used to have this dream. Let's just say not a dream, a nightmare for the years that I rode that Luna. And then, you know what, one more thing. For the years that I rode that Luna, it had a very positive effect on my health. Guess what? It vibrated so much that I did not gain any weight. I used to ride it, it used to be constantly vibrating. I remained fit and fabulous all those years. And then came the phase of my love, my kinetic. It was love at first sight. It was a relationship. My kinetic was not my vehicle. She was like myself, my soul. It was love and respect. I loved it. Then came a phase of some years of not riding anything. Then I don't know what hit my husband's head. One day in the morning, he woke up and he told me, Sabnam, you need to learn driving. It's an essential life skill. And I was having deja vu. It's like, no, a donkey will come in between. I will have vibrations all over again. No, I do not want to learn to drive. But he said, nothing doing. Now you see, I learned driving in India. It's a left-hand side road. And I was learning to drive a car in UAE. That's a right-hand side road. So the first day that I started riding, I started from left-hand side. And my instructor started screaming, yalla, go to the right. And I went. Then she said, look at the road. So holding the steering, I looked at the road. She said, no, look far. And I started looking far and came a turn. I did not realize it. Luckily, she was quick enough to turn it. Until today, I have nightmares of that also, that a turn is coming and I'm not taking it. Slowly and steadily, I passed. Finally, I have a driving license. So yes, after 25 years of actually driving, I never took a license. And when I thought that I was worst at driving, I got a license. That too, at first try. So yes, get over your fears. You don't know when you will get a license. Finally, over to you.
Thank you, Sabnam. There are definitely stages to learning. And of course, we must always watch out for donkeys. Our superlative second speaker is Atul Sankar. The evaluator for this exceptional being is Helga. Helga, darling, please outline the speaker's project and purpose.
Madame Griselda, my speaker, also from the African continent, is going to speak from Leadership Development. Level 2, Project 1. Introduction to a Toastmasters mentoring. And the purpose of his speech is, you want to know? The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of previous experiences as a protege. Madame Griselda.
Let us give a fiery brimstone welcome to our next speaker, Atul Sankar. Beaming in from East Africa, Atul has been a Toastmaster for 2 years and is president of Dar's Toastmaster Club in District 114. He is a new member of Leadership Speak. Welcome. Atul is an entrepreneur an environmentalist, and a vivid reader, as well as a spell-binding speaker. Atul Sankar, my divine mentor, Atul Sankar.
Thank you. True mentorship is one candle ignites another passing of light and warmth without losing any of its own. Did you ever experience it? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today, I am thrilled to announce, which embodies the essence of this quote and so much more, he is someone whose guidance, wisdom, and encouragement have left a lasting impact, both personally and professionally. This individual is none other than DTM Suresh Kumar, my divine mentor, my guiding light, and a true example of what it means to be a leader and a friend. I would like to share you some experiences, my Toastmasters journey with DTM Suresh Kumar. I was very shy. I was not able to speak. I was always being a guest on the last, and seated on the last phases of the meeting. And he is the person who really uplifted me, who knew me, who understood me, who really guided me. He told me this is not the way you have to be a role taker, you have to be coming to the Toastmasters. And he guided me with a friendly touch, with a selflessness. He's been like the light on me, on guiding like the angel, which never expected anything in return. I was even fearing to be a timer. And when I was a timer, yeah, I used to blabber and I used to not able to speak properly. I used to not able to, my fear in me was overcoming me and I was not even able to speak a word or utter a word. I failed once, twice, and the third time. I spoke, but I spoke not fluently, but I made it. That is my journey. You can say from my comfort zone, I moved ahead. I was now familiar with the stage. I was now familiar with the people. I never understood how to manage. When I used to go on the stage, I used to flatter my legs. I used to flatter my hands. I used to shimmer and shiver. But then every time I used to make a mistake, he used to take a small recording of it. But he guided me. These are the few issues where you can really overcome and you can really do it. And I'm there behind you. He's not just being a guide in Toastmasters, but even as on a personal level, on as a professional level, he taught me the values of listening, professional development, professional ethics, and many other attributes in life that would really help to grow. Maybe like being a reader, the art of meditation. So he really guided me like his own friend, his own well-being. So I would really thank for him for that great lessons which really he inspired me and he lifted me and he was like a pillar to always when I was in failure. He was just not like my divine mentor, but also a guiding light. So even in business, in professional, I had some few issues. He always guided me how to handle how to handle things, how to handle conflict resolution. And I would really thank him from the bottom of my heart because he was always a selfless leader, took me a touch. And after then, you won't believe I was even able to address a thousands people out of Toastmasters. I was given an opportunity to speak in the public events in Africa Company of the Year Awards, in top 100 executive list, and many others. It's just, and without a fail, and his courage, and his patience, and his leadership, and his teachings of the public communication. So this is what I really, I never thought that I would be I would be on such a level. And today, at least, I've been completing my 2 paths and reaching the 3rd path, and even proud to be a member of Leadership Speak. It's just his push and touch that have really made me here. And another skill which really taught me was active listening. He always told leadership is not just about speaking, it's also about listening with patience, with articulation, and with listen carefully. Let it be wrong, right, but don't hurry. Listening is an art. That is why I would call him my divine mentor and my divine presence. Without expecting anything in return, and he profoundly transformed me because of my life. VTM Suresh is more than just a mentor. He's a mentor who has touched my spirit and helped me uncover parts of my life I didn't know existed. His mentorship is like a gift, and he gives it freely out of kindness and a genuine desire to see others flourish. To conclude, I would like to borrow the words of poet Maya Angelou, who said, I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating the incredible VTM Suresh Kumar, a mentor, a friend, a true inspiration. Thank you. That's to you, the last of the day.
Thank you, Spellbinder Sankar. Our mentors bring us light in the darkness, oh yes, and they teach us many, many things. Well done. At this time, I'll invite the marvelous Mamadou Guebre onto the dungeon stage. Please welcome the evaluator for our final speaker, Alfin Abrar, to provide the project and purpose for this spectacular speaker.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Today, Toastmaster Mamadou will deliver a project in motivational strategy. Level 1, evaluation and speech project. First speech. The purpose of this project is for member to practice applying feedback to his speech and serve as speech evaluator. And the purpose of this project is for member to speak on any given topic. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Alfin. And now, allow me to introduce our next esteemed orator, Mamadou Guebre. Mamadou is an aviation professional and executive leadership coach. He is teleported here from Lagos, Nigeria. Today, he will be sharing his presentation entitled Yes, But. Mamadou Guebre, yes, but. Yes, but. Mamadou Guebre.
Your attention, please, and thank you. Your attention, please. I would like to invite you on a journey. Yes, let me invite you to explore something. First off, when I say Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what comes to your mind? Speak up or just type in the chat. What comes to your mind? 1 or 2 words when I say Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Foundation.
5 levels.
Yes, but I can see order.
Basic,
yes.
all the way to self-actualization.
Yes, but
safety and
I
foundation.
think stages of development. Foundation, yes. But basic needs to self-actualization, yes. But priorities, yes. But you see, when I kept saying yes, but how does that make you feel? Do you feel encouraged Or do you feel a sort of inquietude?
Feel that you disagree.
You see, thank you. And I want them saying yes, but again, so that to avoid you feeling that sort of triggering a sort of inquietude in you. You see, have you ever been around someone who is really good at using those two words? Yes, but. And how did that make you feel? Or maybe you are the one using those two words. Yes, but. And we all know that in each situation, when we interact with other people, we want to influence them somehow. We want to find a common ground. And in any interaction with other people, we are doing two things, or even one thing. We are selling, we are advocating. We are advocating or selling a product. We are advocating for or selling a service. We are advocating for or selling an idea, a way of being. We are advocating or selling a position. We are advocating for or selling a change in thinking, and ultimately a change in behavior. You see, a long time ago, a couple of years ago, back in my hometown in Côte d'Ivoire, I have this gentleman come to my office to present because he was a sales manager. He came to the office, made a presentation, wonderful presentation. And then anytime we wanted to ask a question or make a comment, he will reply by starting with yes, but. If I ever dare to interject or say something that looked like or feels like an objection, he will start with yes, but. The product was good, but when he left, we felt that feeling like he was holding on to something, like he was forcing. He didn't connect. We always want to connect. And there are words when we want to connect, we shouldn't be using, because when you use them, we create a sort of barrier. It's unconscious, it might be unintentional, but it does not make it less troubling. You see, now you know, or we all know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We knew it before. But let me ask you another question. How about Maslow's hammer? Have you ever heard of Maslow's hammer or the theory of the instrument? The theory, thank you. The theory states that if anything, any tool you have is a hammer, batting is not good. I love that one. If anything you have is a hammer, everything around you will look like a nail. It means that we have that bias. We have a way that pushes us or triggers us to consider that there's only one way. There's only one route. There's only one solution to a problem. And then our way is the only way. And we only have one. It leads us to a narrow way of thinking. We might not be aware of it, but we have to observe ourselves, to analyze ourselves and know exactly which words we are using in our conversation, in our interaction, and how we are coming across. And if you ever wondering if you are using those words, just initiate a discussion and just observe yourself or ask for feedback. Maybe you are doing that, but people are not telling you. Well, now we are sure the law, Maslow's is always on us somehow. But if you are ever tempted to use those two words, yes, but remember what leadership expert Maxwell said, people don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, marvelous Mamadou. Many times we leaders must overcome our inquietude and be willing to question those assumptions, right? We must sometimes butt into our comfort zone and beware of Maslow's hammer so we can properly lead others. Now here's a question for you, my coven of beauties. What is a mummy's favorite music genre? Rap music. And now I would like to invite our time master, Sandra, to add your timer's report to the chat, please. Zoom master Daniel, the Kenyan ghoul master, please launch the poll for best effort speaker. Now, in the meantime, because it's always mean time in Halloween time, here's another question for you folks. What kind of streets do zombies like? Dead ends. And now it's time, my fiendish friends, to introduce our grave general evaluator, a being who truly embodies the inquietude of this event, Terrence Guebre. Terrence is a professional business intelligence consultant and a passionate Toastmaster. He joined Early Birds Toastmaster in Kenya in 2020. He has served as president and sergeant at arms for his club and PR manager for District 114. Terrence is currently the VPE for his club and PR manager for his division. Terrence Guebre Wolf, the virtual stage is yours.
Griselda, thank you. As we segue into the evaluations, I would like to open the curtains for the first evaluator. Evaluating the Toastmaster Nzinga Jasse. Nzinga, the curtain is open.
Jyothi. Jyothi, you were delivering a speech for your project level 3. Deliver a social speech as part of your dynamic leadership path. Jyothi, I was drawn into your charm. That orange background was all we could see at the start. And then from the background, you welcomed us to this spectacular event. I could hear some bells, wondering what was that. I thought, oh, that would be spooky and dark, but it was not. The inquietude was removed by opening this event to the fairies and to the angels as well. While you toast to the theme and mention the hats leaders can use, you made us at ease, those with customs, those without customs, to be part of this event. And this reveals how you are growing in your path. I would recommend you to consider your Zoom presence. Although the ghosting sometimes worked very well, other times I thought it jeopardized your speech. In summary, great interpersonal communication, embracing everybody. Work on your Zoom and your ghosting and continue delivering engaging toasts. Although that was not a glass, but you led the toast with spirit. Over to you, Griselda.
It's Terrence that will be doing this part, but thank you so much for the note.
I will shine my single eye into the evaluation. The first thing is well executed. It was effective to the tune of ensuring that the speaker is encouraged, especially having given the toast. I would just emphasize on when delivering the toast, we need to toast. If it's a glass, it can have milk, it can have blood, it can have water. A toast. Thank you. We proceed to the next goal. Evaluating the Toastmaster of the day. Go Ray Rivero. Scare us.
Thank you so much, Terrence. This evaluation is strictly for Griselda. I don't know of any Paula in the room. Griselda, I loved how you set the tone for this meeting with intention, integrity, and inspiration. Your preparation for the role and the meeting is outstanding. I loved how you commented and kept us engaged with your jokes, meantime, rap music as examples. I loved how you continued with the transition where you were introducing the next speaker and providing some comments and keeping us all engaged with these jokes. And most importantly, kept us on schedule, which is not an easy thing to do with this group. Now, one improvement. I loved also how you checked on our Zoom link so that we can all enjoy this meeting. That was something that I think all of us can learn at Leadership Speak, that sometimes the best opportunities for us to take lead is when you recognize a problem and take the initiative and action to do that. That's one improvement that we can all share as members of Leadership Speak. Overall, this meeting showed how prepared you were to handle the role with the speakers, with the evaluations, and with the players of the roles. Organized, and you presented that as such. You facilitated. I have to put my glasses on. I wrote too small for my own benefit. The meeting flow. You facilitated the meeting flow outstandingly. What I would challenge you is take what you've learned here at this meeting, at this club, over to your home club. Share what you can learn. Managing an online meeting is a very important skill in this age of the internet. So keep complimenting, finally, your role players, especially the spookers who talked today. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Splendid. Well executed, delivered, and what a killer. I would emphasize on something that I believe was very effective in this meeting. It was the costumes. With the TMOD's costume, everybody fell in line. Well done, TMOD.
According to physics.
I move to the next goal. Evaluating the leadership or the education goal, the education goblin for that matter. Claudette Thomas. Claudette, where are you? The stage awaits.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And thank you, Vinod, for an inspirational and motivational speech. Congratulations. As Santa Claus here today, I'll offer you some gifts of commendations and a few recommendations. I'm in a state of inquietude because of the occasion and not because of your speech, Vinod. Vinod, you had me spellbound from the beginning because your speech was compelling and captivating. You started telling us a story about a little boy going into the village and returning to the town. And you ended with that. So you introduced a circular technique. Started with a little boy, and towards the end, you brought us back to that story. You choose a path, but run in circles. I can relate to that. You motivated us to wear different hats. And you use personal stories to illustrate your hat. And you use your props also. The self-inquiry hat, energizer hat, the hat of a mentor, and your self-development hat. And I noticed that your name was written on that hat. You motivated me, you know. So as I mentioned, your opening with a boy in the country, in the village, in the forest, hooked me from that beginning. And I was hooked right to the end. And as you introduced the different characters to tell your personal stories, including your story of your boxing and the death of your father, and these stories evoked in me a lot of emotions. Your messages, several messages, too many to mention here, but you'll get it in a written evaluation. Self-development starts with the heart of self-inquiry, energizer, and the heart of a mentor. Your delivery was engaging, as I said. You had so many rhetorical questions throughout that you had me engaged from start to the beginning. And your voice inflection, you went up at times and you went down. And there were some effective pauses for us to incorporate what you were saying. Meaningful gestures throughout and your storytelling skills. The takeaway message, of course, and there was a lot of it to remember. And it was sprinkled with some humor. As I mentioned, I was engaged from the beginning to the end. Your Zoom presence, you had some good lighting, appropriate background, and I believe you used the depth and width of the camera frame. What you may want to consider, Vinod, incorporating some dialogue. You had a lot of characters. So if you incorporated some dialogues with the different characters you had, that could have kept us more engaged. Consider the zoom presence. There was a lot of space at the top of your head, and you could have raised your camera a bit more so we could have seen more of your body. Your takeaway message was impactful, but I believe you saw the red, so you hurried to finish. So if you could probably have slowed down, there was a lot of information for us to take in. So if you could have probably slowed down somewhat to repeat a lot of the takeaway message. To summarize, Vinod, you presented a compelling and captivating story and different messages about the different hats that we wear personally and also in Toastmasters. Consider adjusting your camera, incorporating dialogue, and slowing down at the end to repeat your takeaway messages. Thank you, Vinod. Your speech was inspiring, motivational, memorable, which I will remember in days and months to come. Thank you, Vinod. And back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Santa Claudette, when a Santa speaks, only a reindeer can evaluate. You did it effectively. I wonder, did Vinod achieve his objectives? That is the only place or the only area I would encourage you as Santa, with your bag full of gifts, to deliver to Vinod. Besides that, well done. You even included a summary just to show all the points that you've noted from the speech. As we segue to the next evaluator, I call upon Toastmaster Bindu Thankappan, who will be evaluating the first speech. Bindu, what do you have to say?
Thank you, Cyclops. Wow, congratulations, Shabin. You were effective in hooking the audience with a captivating question. To be or not to be? To do or not to do? Just literally little curiosity. To follow an again a question. Which one achievement would you like to talk about? You asking and bringing to us your achievements in mastering that inachievable task, that is driving. Wow, what a great beginning. You were able to bring both your hands and giving the simulating movement of a driver. We could really relate your speech content with your hand gestures, whether it was driving a car or a two-wheeler. Then you went on to talk about the incident of you meeting a donkey. Wow, that was amazing. The horrified face literally told us that you had seen the hell on that day. Moving on, you had taken us to over a kinetic and then a moped. Wow, that was bang on. When you were telling that you literally were shaking because the moped was vibrating, and you had sprinkled humor in that by telling that you had gained health. How could you challenge yourself? You had brought the concept very well. But the end, the conclusion was finally you were able to drive the car. And that too, with two different driving techniques. In the left side, while you were learning in India, and on the right side, while driving in Dubai. Wow, in that time of inquietude, you told us that your ruthless determination to learn literally got you the license finally. How could you improve yourself? How could you challenge yourself? Sabnam, here's a way. Your Zoom presence could have been better by incorporating your hand movements when you are like vibrating, and the face of the donkey when you're encountering. To summarize, this speech is so effective in bringing out the concept of integrating the movements with your speech. If you could make more Zoom present, incorporating hand movements made in speech, it could be. Over to Cyclops.
Bindu, well executed. I like that the speaker will leave this stage feeling encouraged to continue because of the sandwich method of delivery. What I would emphasize for the speaker is on the call to action. Maybe I missed it, but I would encourage the speaker to ensure that the call to action connects with the audience. All of us have probably had a chance to do something similar to what you've experienced in your journey learning how to drive. Make it connect so that anytime we think about something else, we remember your experience. Thank you. We segue and we move to the second evaluator. That is evaluating Atul's speech. Toastmaster, Gul, Helga, the stage is yours.
Mr. General Evaluator and Atul, the purpose of the speech was to share some aspects of how Toastmasters envisions mentoring and your experience as a prodigy. The first part I missed a bit, but your experience as a prodigy was very well executed. You have achieved that goal by explaining how Suresh Kumar played that important role in your life. Suresh is indeed a master mentor, as I know him also from my days when he was in Namibia. Knowing Suresh, your speech inspired and impacted me with, as you spoke about your journey from being a shy to speak to becoming an accomplished speaker and familiarize you with the stage. Yet here, that gives me the chance to challenge you about your stage presence. When standing to present a speech, I feel, and you feel, that you have more power, more volume to use your vocal variety to emphasize how Suraj influenced you, how he lifted you to be a selfless leader. Show that happiness, what he did to you, how he influenced you, how you became a selfless leader. That you can also do with standing and speaking about that. Somehow that affected you. Yes, it did. And how it lifted you also more. Show it. You used the evidence when you explained it, quite correct. Your Zoom presence, yeah, I'd like to also another challenge for you. Somehow you averting your eye contact with the audience and looking down, as if you were reading your script. Thus, I could not notice your eye contact. And your voice also faded a bit when you were down speaking to probably your notes, looking down. Your hand gestures, they emphasize a speech. And here I noticed that they only occasionally when they came up and spoke when not visible enough. Hand gestures can be so important and emphasizes speech. Atul, thank you very much for your summary, for your speech. It connected with me. And another call to action, I would have liked to get a call to action about your connection, our connection with a mentor and the results or the effects this partnership has with us. Yet a mentor is someone who sees the potential in you and helps you achieve. And Suresh did a great job for that. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Helga. If you can see what I'm doing for those who have been given feedback on their Zoom presence, if you can, when framing yourself, you can make sure that your hands are seen, then you will be effective in your delivery. I would emphasize on the pace that Atul you used. I noticed that I wanted to listen to your story and understand your mentor. However, I felt that the pace could have given me more time to absorb what you were talking about. Your spell can be more effective when delivered at a pace that resonates with my ears. Well done. We move to the next evaluator. Alfin Abrar, evaluating the third speech. Over to you, Alfin.
So much. Yes, but a very strong message by Toastmasters Mamadou, one of my favorite speakers in Let Us Speak. A vibrant personality that always brings positive energy with every word he says. Thank you so much for giving insight. The bad word can literally make the prior words mean things. Two strong points that I observed in Mamadou. First, the opening. I noticed the opening was very wonderful and powerful. Why? Because I saw you ask the audience, then reply to the audience, the two-way communications. And I saw he's owning the audience for today. He can find a way to make the audience answer the question. He also replied in the chat box. He connected with the audience, a very important milestone before transition to your mentor. Which comes to your second strong point, that is using story. In his story, he's explaining his first main points, and not only that, the transition from first point to the story is very smooth. Thereby, he explained his first point. Then when it feels like nothing left to explain, he gives a story as the example to emphasize his points. It makes the speech more vivid, more understandable, and more engaging. Not gonna say but. I use and. So very good speech by Mamadou. And what can we suggest to Mamadou? First, in telling story, I noticed you use long time ago. And I feel when you use long time ago, it feels general and not specific. And in story, it is good that we have specific time, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you can mention also what specific year, so it can feel more vivid and more real. And the second one, I feel that the speakers is not really emphasized about the solution of not using the yes but. That I noticed, don't use yes but, and then what? So I think it could be better if the speaker give a solution for that. For example, don't say yes but, you can say I disagree, or I understand your point of view, and this is my point of view. So in giving critical to someone, we don't just say don't do this, but we also give solution to something that is not good. And to challenge Mamadou, I suggest you to stand to deliver your speech, because it is a missed opportunity, because you already vibrant, smile, and I feel that audience like you because they are interacting with you. So it will be better if you stand to deliver the speech. Very nice opening, very good story, Mamadou. Don't be more specific on the story and give solution to your recommendation. Back to G.
Thank you, Alfin. Like the proverbial fence, if you sit too long on top of it, it is likely to fall on one side. I would challenge Mamadou, as advised by his evaluation, to choose a side, to pick a side. When you have premises, let us have a conclusion that is consistent with what you want us to know. I would also add that when we are engaging the audience, which I found very effective in your speech, let's plan in advance so that either we have someone helping us with the chat or someone controlling the Zoom side, so that if people unmute, they remember to go back to silence and listen to you. Overall, Alfin, well done. At this point, I invite the timekeeper to drop the times for the various speeches. As she does that, I invite the grammarian report. Grammarian. Fabian, are you there?
As I was lurking in the shadows of this room, my inquietude would not make me rest because of all of the golden nuggets that every speaker was dropping. Toastmaster Vinod started the ball rolling when he dropped some of his golden nuggets. Many of times in life, we run in circle. The longer we go, the further we reach at the same point. He also shared about the importance of energizing persons. And he mentioned that no matter how someone enters the room, ensure when they go out with a smile. And finally, he mentioned development is a lifelong journey. Never stop learning. Get over your fears and ensure to look out for the donkeys. And as the speakers continue, more golden nuggets were dropped when they mentioned that if all you have around you is a hammer, everything will look like a nail. No matter don't have one tool or skills like saying yes and buts, yes and buts, because you will just limit yourselves. Toastmasters, today, for our word of the day, it was mentioned by 4 Toastmasters during our meeting, and it was mentioned 7 times that I had recorded. Toastmasters and friends, I encourage you to use the word of the day in our next meeting more, incorporated into your speech, so that we can able to utilize and learn more of the word so that it could be incorporated in our daily life. This brings the end of my report. Back to you, GE.
I would like to invite Count Dracula to come and bite us. The smooth bite that will inject and give us critical thinking. And as he gets on stage, Zoom master the polls for the evaluations.
Hello, my lovelies. Hello, hello, hello. Come over here. I need some blood today, and I'm going to have it no matter what. Helga, bring them over. Helga, where are you? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's my observation of what I saw in this meeting. Now, why am I here to begin with? Ladies and gentlemen, some of you get confused as to why Count Dracula comes in at this time of the meeting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters especially, in Leadership Speak, we have done a couple of training sessions, one on July the 27th and one last week. Now, when we do those training sessions, are we following the training, or how can we get better at our presentations in Leadership Speak, which is an advanced Toastmasters club? What did we do? Did we look at the training? Did we follow through with the training? How did the speakers do? How did the evaluators do? It is essential that we follow the training that's been provided so that we can get better at what we do. So here I am, just to tell you, did we do well? How did we do? Well, let's look at our first speaker, Vinod Panicker. Now, don't you panic, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't doing no harm to you, except I will bite him on the neck painlessly. Vinod, don't you worry. I'll just throw a little bit of blood and you'll be all right. This was a well-done speech, however, and he did spend time in what's in it for the audience and what the audience's takeaway is. That is great. So he followed how the training goes, except for the title of the speech, which was something to do with the full moon. And I didn't know how the full moon fitted in with the particular speech, with the different hats and the full moon. There was no connection in there. And so how he ended the speech with no full moon, except, of course, maybe it is the theme, but however, there has to be a tie-in with the presentation and so on. With regards to the evaluator for Vinod, I found that the evaluator first focused on delivery, a little bit on the content, back to delivery, a bit on the content, and so on. There was like back and forth, and we had to be very clear what is delivery, what is content, and what was the conclusion, what was the presenter trying to present and deliver to the audience for the audience's purpose, and therefore, and then how did we summarize at the end? And the summary should be one line. The summary was like in 2 stages: delivery, and then suddenly the content. So we have to be very careful about how we evaluate a speaker. You may want to talk about the delivery and and then the content, or the content and the delivery. Then you may want to give the points where to improve, or you could talk of content, what was the content and how it was great or whatever, effective, and where to improve, and then delivery, good and improvement, either one of those things, rather than go back and forth and then you're mixing up, is this delivery, is this content, and so on. So we have to be careful about those sort of things. I find, and I really suggest the evaluators did pick up, please stand and deliver your speech so that it's more effective. Now, my role is very small, and the reason why I'm standing is because if I wanted to tell you, please stand and deliver, I'm standing up and delivering this presentation just for that purpose. I find, let's go on to a couple of other speakers. I think most of our speakers had an abrupt ending. Sabnam had an abrupt ending and left the stage because she was running out of time. So we didn't quite have what is the audience's takeaway. Spend a minute for the audience and audience's takeaway, even if it is your own story, because we are in advanced club. As well as for Atul, sure, please join me in celebrating Suresh Kumar. It was more like a toast, but it should be more of what's in it for the audience, and should the audience have mentors, and what would happen for the audience, the Toastmasters here, if they had a mentor, and how could they use mentors and so on. Could have been an ending. Again, Mamadou, Guebre, great thought process, but the construction of the content needs to be sharpened up quite a bit and stand up and deliver. The ending was again abrupt. Love the Maslow's quote. If you have a hammer, the only thing if that's the only tool you have everything appears as a nail. If you have only one skill, if you have only one perception, one perspective, then you will only evaluate or create your speech in one particular way. So we are providing the tools. That's just a great segue, Mamadou. We are providing all the tools for you to become an excellent, amazing speaker. Like I said last week, whatever happens in Toastmasters is not like what happens in Las Vegas, where it remains in Las Vegas. Whatever happens in Toastmasters, I hope as an advanced speaker, you'll be able to take it out in the real world and use it. So we have a progression from where we are here, somewhere over here, and we want to connect the dots into the future, way out there, so that we become better at what we do. With that, over to you, Mr. G. I have had enough blood. I drank enough. Helga, take it away.
I can see Helga holding up the glass.
That is all the blood I could take for you to rest for the next 200 years. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. We get to the Cyclops evaluation. What happened before, what happened during the meeting, and what can we improve as leadership speak? First, I would commend the Toastmaster of the day and her team of ghouls, goblins, princes, ghosts, and all other scary people in between for this masterpiece. The marketing was superb, thanks to Count Dracula and his team. You can see the backgrounds in this meeting. You can see the props and the various costumes. Being Halloween, this matches the theme. I also liked and enjoyed and found it very effective that the Toastmaster of the day did not just sit back and run the show. No. She took her broom and she flew, and she didn't fly alone. She collaborated with the team, as you can see. For instance, the communication, unlike, I believe there is that room of improvement as leadership speak, and she took the broom and she swept that floor clean. The connection, the communication, the ability to get things moving. That was leadership before the meeting. The role takers were effective. The choice of the word of the day, something that resonates with the theme. Although I would challenge I don't want to say yes, but I want to challenge anytime we take up the grammarian role, we make sure it's easy. Like today, it's so easy to use. It should be very easy to use. It should pick a word that is very effective and easy to use. Thank you for that. The timings and every instances were also captured. The Queen of Straight Talk executed it well. As I said, Griselda used all the goblins, all the princes and all the princesses effectively, especially the education speaker. You saw all the hats he had. He used them as props in line with the theme and expounded on the theme, which made us even more intrigued. Are there areas we can improve? Definitely. For instance, I noticed when we started the meeting, the greeter was very energetic and so was the SAA. However, that connection could have been better in the sense that the SAA needed to prompt the various role takers. For instance, the Zoom master to start the recording, and that was well reminded by Brahm. And of course, when sharing the rules of the meeting, it can be done more effectively so that we are all in the same room. Apart from that, I also want to encourage all of us, if we have a meeting, a themed meeting, let's dive in. Let's try something. There are so many tools we can use and challenge ourselves to try and enjoy the moment. Besides that, I also want to commend this club and all the members for delivering at an exceptional standard. Goals, globins, princes and princesses, the next time I see you in the next 100 years, I hope it will be on even better terms. At this point, I want us to segue back to the Toastmaster of the day, who is Griselda. Take it away.
Thank you to our resident evil Cyclops, GE. Your many hats of leadership were activated today in a spooktastic manner, and I enjoyed how you fed the dungeon denizens something solid to feast upon. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our Thought of the Day speaker, Madam Sandra, who reminds us that masks are powerful. They help us step into new roles despite our fears, but they can also hide our pain. The key is knowing how to use them as tools. My darling, the dungeon stage is yours.
Halloween, a time for ghosts and goblins and gory glory. Just like Frankenstein's monster, great communication is all about piecing together the best ideas to create something truly memorable. self-directed leaders in all of our communication. Our mission is to craft messages so gripping and suspenseful that they haunt our audience, much like a good horror flick. To haunt your audience, start by casting a spell with a captivating opening, an intriguing question, or a shocking fact lingers in their minds. Use vivid imagery and spooky stories that illustrate your points. You gotta have points and make them relatable and unforgettable. And don't forget, like Rosie and Paramjeet and some of the rest of us, throw in some humor, a dash of humor, because even the ghosts like a good laugh. Finally, leave them with a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger with an actionable takeaway that says, pull yourself up or drop, but do something. Do something. A cliffhanger, something actionable that'll have them pondering long after they leave the room, eagerly awaiting your next guest. Great communication. So this Halloween and every Halloween, let's be the ghost host with the most and deliver those messages that are as chillingly effective as they are delightfully entertaining. Ladies and gentlemen, have you been entertained? Toastmaster.
Thank you, madam. And now, Zoom Master, Sisi Majitu. Daniel, please share the awards certificates. And yes, a leader wears many hats. It pays to wear them well and with intention, because it drives their purpose, with integrity to keep every aspect of leadership well covered, and with inspiration as a contagion and transforming apathy into passion. This Halloween, step into any role boldly, lead with purpose, reliability, and spark. No tricks, only treats. As we watch the winners of our poll be displayed. And now, I have one final question for you. Thanks to all of the speakers. Well done to the winners. But why did the vampire get a job at the blood bank? Because it was in his veins. And in that vein, as my vampire master compels me, I hand the virtual podium over to our esteemed president, Count Dracula.
Welcome back, my darlings, my dears. Welcome back. I haven't had enough blood yet. I had to take my mask off. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce to you our guests, and there's only one guest that I would like to introduce to you, or if the guest is around, Evelyn Krish. Are you there, Evelyn? Don't you worry, we won't be drinking your blood. Now, if you can spotlight Evelyn here for me. Hello, Evelyn. How are you and where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania, and I am new to Toastmasters. I've only been since 2021. I have been a sergeant of arms for my club Midday, and I'm also president of the club this year. I'm also, Midday is a hybrid club, so they meet remote, and I only joined them remote. And I'm also in a in-person club that I join at least one time a month to give me experience presenting in person. Also an area director this year, so I have quite a bit of leadership responsibilities.
Well, wonderful. Good to know you, Evelyn. And how did you find our meeting today? Did you enjoy the meeting? Did you get anything out of it?
I really enjoyed the meeting. Our clubs that I have are sort of in remote areas, and the standards of your clubs are really, really high. I learned some neat things that I hope to bring back to my club.
Amazing. We are an advanced club, so yes, we insist on higher standards, higher quality, higher service of excellence, and so on. Would you, are you considering a membership in this club, or you're just visiting and passing through?
I would like to consider a membership in a club, but I think your club is a lot of work. With
Yes,
my
it
two
is.
other responsibilities, I still would like to come and be a guest at your club at some future meetings, and then decide later on if I would want to be a member.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Evelyn, for being here. And
Okay.
please do come as many times as you like as a guest. We have no limitations as to how many times you can visit. Thank you, and good to have you.
Okay,
And now I
thank you.
shall have your blood as well, Evelyn. Be careful. Be very, very careful. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have covered the guests that we need to cover. Paul Mahoney, our leprechaun from Ireland, a quick word from you. Did you bring a pot of gold and some Guinness?
You brought the gold, and as far as I'm concerned, the Toastmaster of the day was Guinness. Where on earth did you get her from? I mean, I want to borrow her. Yes, I come from Cork, Ireland, and I'm in a few Toastmasters clubs, and I've been around for a while, and I've met a couple of people here. But my goodness, how do you motivate so many people in a club to do what you guys have done today? It certainly must be a good deal of self-reflection going on. I realize that nobody wants me to speak for long, so I'll pass back to you, Count Dracula. You've certainly bitten me. I'll be back.
I've got
All
some
right.
of your blood here. Or some of your
We'll be
blood
coming
is
to
in here.
Ireland soon. All right. Thank you very much, Paul, for that. And we will now, let me have a quick look. Introduce to you our forthcoming member, which I did mention a bit at the beginning of the meeting, but Miriam Saidawi, and she can correct me her last name pronunciation. If you can spotlight Miriam there. She is joining from 1st of November. She has been a member in Dubai for quite a while. She lives currently in Iran. If you can spotlight that for me, Mr. Zoom Master. Okay, I'll do it myself. There we go. So Miriam, welcome.
Thank you so
Any
much.
words from
It's
you?
my pleasure. Actually, already, because time to time, just when you have the event or there's something already, I will be attend your meeting. But this the time when they compare between what usually doing in the Toastmaster as the agenda, I found here the more quality, high quality, and something really the people in this the club will be in the really next level, which we following like the speaker 3 session, speaker table topic evaluation. But I found something really little bit different. But in the end, we can see here actually for my side and the personality, hopefully I will be take myself in the next level, which one always I prefer to see myself, even through the member or through you special, because already you are the guide us through this journey, long journey, but there is no end of this journey. I hope so. You take me in the next level, and I will be my pleasure to meet in the Halloween day, which already I missed during that time, because always we have the fun in the Halloween in the Dubai. But then now already today, my pleasure again to see, and thank you so much. Really, I love it. I see the people they're using really the very nice word, which always, because my English is the second language. Actually, this one amazing for me. Hopefully I learn too many things from each one of the people in the room. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. And we'll speak about your membership and the PayPal
Yes.
after the meeting. Just remain here. I'll have a quick word with you at that time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've spoken to everyone that I need to speak to. Oh, one quick thing is, yeah, we do hold very regular training meetings every Tuesday, every Thursday, 2 hours each one of those days to train you to become even better. Because in a meeting on Saturday, you only get a 7-minute spot or a 3-minute spot for an evaluation speaker. And it's not much, there's not much training that happens here. Here you have to, what you practice in the training meetings, you come and deliver. So 4 hours each week, I'm available and I train. So you're welcome to join those meetings, and you'll be sent invitations once you become a member to join those meetings as well. This only meant for members, by the way. If I know guests from time to time ask, can I come on a Tuesday or on a Thursday? No, I'm afraid it's only meant for the members. With that, Madam Griselda, please take it away. I've had enough blood today.
Thank you, Count. Please accept my biggest banshee howl of thank you to each and every Halloweenie who attended today, both guests and members, and in particular, our role players on every level, and to Sandra, who played multiple roles in this meeting. You all have made this meeting magnificently memorable. Have a wacky and wonderful day. This meeting is officially adjourned.